Jealousy at workplace can turn into bullying. If you've been suffering at work and don't know how to deal with someone who's jealous enough to play dirty, this video is for you. But before we start, let me ask you a question. If your mother is a prominent politician, or your cousin's company is a major client of your organization, or your boyfriend's dad is the chairman, do you think anyone at work would still bully you? And why is that? Because they know there would be consequences, right? Most of us don't have access to this kind of privilege, but you can still harness the same psychological triggers to make yourself untouchable or at least too risky to target. Today, we're not just going to talk about emotional survival, but also strategic self-protection, actionable steps to counter-manipulate, and the unspoken power games of corporate life. Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Mercy and I am a 42-year-old corporate executive who recently started this YouTube channel to share emotional intelligence for healing, growth and transformation. In a previous video about toxic signs of dangerous jealousy, I received 2 comments that deeply resonated with me about workplace bullying caused by envy, which is why I decided to make today's video and provide solutions for those of you who are suffering. I will break down exactly how to deal with 2 kinds of sabotage. Part 1 is about jealous coworkers and Part 2 about jealous bosses. If you want to skip the first part and just watch from there, I've included chapters in the description. By the end of the video, you'd know not just how to survive bullying, but how to outsmart it and even use it to progress your career. So, if someone at work feels threatened by your competence, charisma, uniqueness, or whatever triggers their own insecurity, they might erode your influence so they feel in control. When their bullying behaviors are more open and can be considered as damaging to the company, of course you should document everything and prepare to report them. But what if they are stealthy? For example, they might withhold information and pretend it's unintentional, or they suddenly get close to everyone except you. They create group dynamics to isolate you, they start gossips and even a smear campaign. The list goes on. If you feel something is off, you are probably not imagining it, and I'm really sorry to hear that you have to deal with this. It's not just bad vibes, they are using covert manipulation to tear you down. Your social standing, your confidence, your sense of safety. You are in a vulnerable position, and long-term exposure to this toxic environment activates your amygdala and creates a chronic fight, flight, freeze response. That's why you might feel exhausted, anxious, hypervigilant, or even lose motivation in your career. But if you confront the bullies, they might make you look like the dramatic one and they can play the victim. The first thing you should do is to stop expecting people to love you because you are kind or support you because you've earned it. Most people don't operate on fairness, they operate on fear. If the bully is gossiping behind your back to isolate you and starting a smear campaign to damage your reputation, they want control, and they're using relational aggression, a form of emotional manipulation to make themselves the new favorite and gain social control through influence. People often believe the gossiper not because they are smarter or more persuasive, but because it's easier to follow the dominant narrative than to question it. It's social proof bias. Your other colleagues may not be malicious, but they could be confused or afraid of being targeted next. The second thing you do is to rebuild alliances strategically, not emotionally. You don't need to sit down with colleagues who've switched sides and explain yourself. That might embarrass them or trigger defensiveness. Don't try to convince others to like you. Use social proof and social pivoting to reclaim your image. People are tribal. They subconsciously look to others to decide who is worth aligning with. So you need to recreate social momentum without begging for approval. That means Cultivating relationships outside the toxic circle. Start with your internal network. Chat after meetings with people in other departments. Grab coffee, offer help on cross-functional or high-visibility projects. This earns you quiet credibility. Build relationships with mentors, senior staff who are respected in the organization. Ask yourself, when was the last time I had a meaningful conversation with the person who hired me? In most cases, the person who hired you does feel some responsibility for your success. It reflects on their judgment. If they still hold some influence in the company, invite them for coffee, lunch, or drink, and you pay for it, yeah. And ask for a quick catch up. I'd love to update you on my progress, or I'd really value your advice on navigating some challenges. Don't unload your workplace drama. Don't mention the bullying. Just present yourself as a calm, proactive employee who authentically wants to contribute more. Show loyalty. Offer a sincere compliment. Maybe you admire their leadership style or a recent achievement you've noticed. If your current line manager isn't the one who hired you, do the same. Learn what they like. Buy a small, thoughtful gift. Something subtle, not flashy, like some luwak coffee, a box of handmade chocolates. Frame it casually. I came across this shop and thought you might like it, or my family brought this when they visited. The goal is to signal alignment without overdoing it. The gift should seem effortless but still tailored enough to show thoughtfulness. When people see that you are connected to someone with influence, it shifts how they treat you. Perception changes power. As for colleagues, don't isolate yourself just because gossip is in the air. Start small, micro interactions, a warm hello, a question about a project, a genuine compliment. Keep it light, confident, not cold or performative or desperate. Ask neutral questions about their work or weekend plans. Find small shared interests and show up consistently with warmth. Laugh at a joke with others. Bring back little snacks when you travel, even if it's just from a trendy shop down the street. These gestures accumulate. Over time, they reframe how people perceive you. Remember this, bullies are opportunists. They don't go after the strong, they target the isolated, the uncertain, the unprotected. When you appear to have no backup, you become an easy mark. Why? Because they can control the narrative, they can twist how others see you. But when you are connected to influential people, respected leaders, trusted peers, external allies, which I will talk about in a bit when we get to the part about bullying bosses. Basically, when you are connected, you become harder to smear. You become a high-risk target. And they pause. If I mess with her, who might she tell? That's why building a strong, supportive network is non-negotiable. I know it takes time, and if you are in survival mode, it's probably the last thing you want to hear. You want relief now. But let's be real. There's no magic button or a fairy godmother that makes troubles disappear instantly. You need to take the power back to your own hands, and it takes time. If you run away, quit, transfer, start over, chances are you will meet someone just like this again. Different face, same energy. Why? Because it's your task at this stage in life. Like in a video game, you can't skip the boss fight. And when you beat it, when you grow through it, you level up. The monsters get tougher on the next levels, sure. And so do you. Life isn't just testing your skills, it's testing your stamina, your strategy, your support system. You are hired for your capabilities, yes, but your ability to navigate relationships, that's what sustains you. That's what determines whether you stay where you are or move up the ladder. Here's the truth. 80% of our problems come from people, not spreadsheets. Even if you work alone, you are never fully insulated from human dynamics. Clients, financiers, collaborators, critics. That's why your network matters just as much as your expertise. So treat this moment as what it is, a call to grow. You won't see results tomorrow or next week, but if you keep showing up, building trust, choosing your allies wisely, then in 10 years, 20 years, you will see who's still standing and laughing, thriving. Now let's take it up a notch. A jealous coworker actually has limited power over you, but a jealous boss can destroy careers. You know, in most corporations, CEOs are not the founders. They are hired professional managers. That means their biggest job isn't innovation, it's their own job security. Same applies to people managers down this organizational chart. The name of the game is political survival, because their role depends on keeping the upper levels of executives happy, controlling narratives, and eliminating internal threats to their throne. So if you start to shine too bright, they will undermine you to reassert control. If the boss is the one who hired you, the chances of them becoming jealous are lower, but not zero. Jealousy can still creep in if you've outgrown the role they initially envisioned for you, if your rising influence threatens their political standing, or if they begin to fear you might one day replace them, especially if your visibility extends up the chain across the industry. The situation becomes worse when the one who hired you has left or retired, and the new boss has limited understanding of your field and feels insecure about it. That's when the games begin. They might withhold praise, nitpick your work or even your accent, exclude you from meetings or opportunities, and subtly undermine your credibility. They marginalize your contributions and drive a wedge between you and your colleagues. Some go further. They dangle carrots in front of your coworkers, quietly encouraging competition over clients or resources, even if those things fall clearly within your scope of responsibility. They take credit for your accomplishments and scapegoat you for their missteps. They request to meet the clients you personally brought into the company, then present them to the board as their clients. The list goes on. Even in my own personal experience, the shamelessness can be staggering. So how do you deal with this kind of boss strategically? Well, you don't confront this head on. You'd lose. Reporting to the HR? Not a good idea, because HR's priority is to protect the company's interest and not the employees. Let me repeat that. HR's priority is to protect the company's interest and not the employees. Your boss has more visibility to the senior management. He is protected, not you. The only thing you should do is play quiet chess to protect your position while planning your exit or elevation in 3 steps. Step 1 is to contain your visibility just enough. Still do your excellent work, but pull back slightly on self-promotion in front of them. Don't trigger the insecurity and don't give them an enemy. Show your willingness to support them. Frame achievements as we and not I in meetings they attend. Attribute parts of your success to their leadership, even if it feels underdeserved. Basically, you need to make them look good and feel you are not gunning for their position, but they will still bait you. They want you to react so they can justify their undermining. So stay impeccable at your job. Give them nothing to use. Document everything, every shady meeting, every withheld email, every sabotage attempt. You might need the record one day. Keep communications professional and avoid text traps. Step 2 is to use industry visibility as armor. This is where your external network becomes priceless. Stay active in your industry, speak at events or panels, publish insights, get interviewed, mentor in public spaces, reconnect with former bosses, colleagues, and classmates. Let your name circulate beyond the walls of your company. That way, if they ever try to push you out, you land on your feet with a reputation they cannot touch. People with powerful external influence cannot be erased internally without backlash. You don't need thousands of connections. You need a few solid allies, inside and outside, who know who you are and would vouch for you when it counts. And most of all, networking is how you stop playing defense and start playing in the long game. And step 3, the final move. If you have a boss so toxic and targeting you personally, you have 2 choices only. Either prepare your exit quietly, use your network to find a new job, or stay and become politically sharper. I know, if you've helped build the boat, why should someone else come in to sell it and push you out, right? In this case, you need to protect your value, align with other power centers, and outlast your boss. Yes, you can outlast your boss. I've done it. You need to keep doing an excellent job while expanding and strengthening your network. At the same time, protect your credibility obsessively. Document their verbal instructions, like writing a text or an email to confirm if you understand correctly what they ask you to do, in case they throw you under the bus later, because quite often they do. Communicate wins in writing, copying relevant stakeholders without appearing arrogant. You can say, just an update on the progress of this project so everybody is on the same page. Create opportunities to maintain visibility to the senior management, board members, founders, investors. Your protection won't come from confronting your boss. It will come from being respected and vouched for by others they can't afford to alienate. Exceed your KPIs and be the person others depend on. Make your expertise irreplaceable. Become someone they can't eliminate without exposing themselves. But to outlast a boss, you need to prepare for a long game. It doesn't just take months, but years and sometimes decades. And that's a hard choice. So ask yourself, is it worth it? Or would it be wiser to find a new job where your energy is better used? If your boss really looks the part, polished, well-spoken, politically connected, or if they got the job through nepotism, the odds of them being let go might be slim. So your decision should always come down to what serves your best long-term interest. And if you do decide to leave, don't leave empty-handed. Make sure you negotiate fair severance, and that's where your documentation and records come in handy. Either way, remember, your power doesn't come from confrontation or walking around with a hammer. Your real leverage is in your resilience, endurance, strategic thinking, emotional control, reputation, relationships, and your vision for the future. And that, my friends, is how you deal with workplace bullying, especially when it's fueled by jealousy from colleagues and your boss. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this useful, please leave a comment below. I'd really love to hear from you. Just like this video, your words inspire me more than you know. I've also prepared another video for you right here, so I will see you there or in the next one. Take care and bye for now.